Welcome back, everybody! I do have to say one thing real quick, and I have to apologize, actually. I don't know how this one happened. I thought I was keeping track of the time correctly, but apparently 2 episodes ago I just noticed I apparently ended that one a few minutes early? Somehow! Don't really know how that happened. I thought I was keeping track of the time correctly with my little calculator timer thing, because I always say that. I use the calculator, I enter a number, and it's like, okay, look at the time, let's just say it's 2:30 right now. I'll set the timer for 3:01. I'll give it an extra minute just to be on the safe side that I'm not ending it a few seconds early. But I don't know how I did that. I was like, okay, this is definitely 30 minutes later. And then, okay, it seemed like a full-length episode in my head, too. Like, I felt like I was doing that for at least 30 minutes. It felt long, so I don't know. I guess I misjudged my time, though, unfortunately. Kind of sucks, really. I don't know why that happened, but it did happen, and I do apologize for that. But for this episode, I will actually purposely... I think it was about 5 minutes. I cut it off too early. So, for this episode, I will purposely go 5 minutes over. So, I will give you at least 35 minutes guaranteed. I won't try to stop it after 30. I'll try to stop it after 35 minutes. So, there we go. So, I should be set fine this time. And I'll even give you an extra minute just for the talking at the beginning of this episode too. So you get 36 minutes, everyone. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So everyone, are you ready now to begin the final day, the final investigation? Because I am. Still got to investigate a cactus and a thing in the parking lot too, which we never did before, which I don't understand why we didn't, but we did. Didn't, I should say. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know! I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings! Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly, that's why she used me! That's why she used what happened to me! What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file! Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. What did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. I see. So that means you... Yes! I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Well, what's so drastic about that, though? I mean, if you're a witness and you're a witness, that's not really drastic measures or anything. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it! Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture. After the incident. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Apparently so, anyway. A permanent picture. What do you see in the instant that crime occurred? ... Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Apparently so. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. And yet she looked absolutely no different for some reason. That's kind of interesting. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any... I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Is there now? Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course! This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. Well, why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. ... Across from the elevator? But Lana and the chief prosecutor, wasn't she... No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her. Apparently so, I guess. Alright. Let's go ahead and just move on then, I suppose. In the detention center we go. February 24th. Detention center. Visitor's room. Lana! Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SO9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Can you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs? ... I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Well, I suppose so, anyway. Alright, let's have a talk then about today's trial. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today. I just lost my place randomly. Not the least of which was... the fact that the case is largely connected to another one, 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial! It really wasn't fair, was it? ... I believe in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana! What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife! ... Lana, I don't understand! Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. Detective Lana Sky. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing! They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? Then he was the vice head of the criminal affairs, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever! They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed! Emma really idolized their big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could later use that experience in court. Gant's help in the SL9 case was critical in its resolution after that. He became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Yes, that's where we're going to, in fact. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the chief detective was no doubt Damon Gant? Yes, Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. He led a team of the best detectives on the force. Oh, let's add another person to the picture, why not? Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. He asked him to come in for questioning. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when the last murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. I see, first one at the scene. Detective Gant and Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dark must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Detective Gant and myself. That's where he found me! And why did he have a knife? Why did you not take his knife away during questioning? I'm a little bit curious. Did you not, like, search him for other knives if you did take away his original knife? I don't get it. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her, after all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. ... Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, and that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. I suppose that might be a good idea anyway. But I do want to go back here first of all here, because I'm suspicious. February 24th, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana! I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Yes, we do. But anyway, let's go back, shall we? First of all, where was the blood stain? Gotta find some blood stains. Dang it, the court record, please. And luminol testing fluid, please. So let's see, we got one on the phone. And we got one down there. So let's take a look right over there, I suppose then, shall we? But first, I say let's save the phone for last. Let's look over here first. This rope, is it? Yep, they laid it in the outline of the victim's body. ... So wait! The victim must have died when the killer closed the trunk on him. You already said that, though. The only person who came to that conclusion. Why are you still coming to that conclusion? I have to wonder, though. Nothing there, nothing. Okay, whatever. The phone it is, then. Let's figure this one out once and for all. What? Oops. What? Huh? The button didn't work. Or did it? What? Am I doing something wrong? Okay. Examine. Whatever. The button didn't work for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I just pressed the wrong button. Maybe I did. Here, a phone. Let's see if it works. Hey, don't touch stuff we don't need to be touching. ... I can't hear anything. My ears know my... Wait, but what about... Shouldn't we be getting that checked for fingerprints? I think we should be, but maybe we're not going to, I guess. Alright, whatever. If we're not going to get it checked for fingerprints, then that's your call, I suppose. High Prosecutor's Office. February 24th. High Prosecutor's Office. Room 1202. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee? They took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later. I suppose so, anyway. Let's just forget about it then. Back to the underground parking lot we go! And then where to? Police Department entrance? February 24th, Police Department entrance. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall! Never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Quiz Sarah, you never know where life will lead you, Bambina. I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance. We all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Or will you? I really could go for a steak lunch right about now. Dark trial. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. A murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. ... However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that SL9 incident left behind! Prosecutor Marshall. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You don't mean King of Prosecutors. Not that again! What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. ... Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. Try to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Or did they? Hold on a second. Okay, there's just something weird out my window right there. Anyway, Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Scars. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant and Skye. Chief Detective Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After that case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? I'm pretty sure Phoenix just read that, and I just read that as Marshall's voice for some reason. Oh, well. Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Question mark? Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Scott was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. Never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. 10-second pause. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. That was an interesting animation right there. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Why is that, though? Why would he not become... whatever. Who knows, I guess. But anyway, I guess that's all for that, anyway. So let us see, then. Where to next? This Criminal Affairs Department? February 24th, Police Department. Criminal Affairs. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying that what she did and the decision about what to do. About Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going than in Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think it is almost Thanksgiving, actually, at least in the U.S. I know... I mean, Thanksgiving is only... No, they celebrate in Canada, too, but they celebrate, like, in October or something like that. But I'm assuming the November Thanksgiving that the U.S. celebrates, I'm assuming that's not celebrated in Europe either, because, I mean, it's celebrating, like, not the founding of our country, that's freaking 4th of July. Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember, everyone. I'm very bad with knowing the reasoning behind holidays, so, you know, I'm sorry, you have to give me a history lesson in the comments if you really want to do that. But I'm pretty sure Europe and Asia don't celebrate our Thanksgiving, or... Maybe they celebrate their own Thanksgiving? I don't know. Do you, for those of you who don't live in the US or Canada, do you celebrate your own version of Thanksgiving? I'm curious about that, actually. I mean, I guess it's appropriate since it's almost Thanksgiving in the US anyway. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just head across the hall to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? Do you mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't a police officer or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Yeah, might as well head there anyway for no reason. Why not? Sure. The chief's office. Here we go. Why does he have an organ in here? He really is Ganondorf. No, I'm just kidding. The joke someone in the comments made was that he's Gantendorf, which is kind of ironic considering Tales of Zestiria, but I'm not going to get into any details on that. But Yeah, so yeah, he has an organ in there, and Ganondorf plays an organ, so yeah. Mr. Gant, I believe you are the guilty party. I don't freaking know, everyone. This case is confusing me so badly right now. I don't even know who's guilty right now. Police Department Chief's office. I can hear his theme song, so he must be here, right? Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's where at least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Da 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 da. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna just hum Ganondorf's theme randomly. I never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two! Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Mr. Wright, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately, and it's still technically winter right now. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And that is provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? I mean, technically, I don't know what I'm saying, but you technically can go swimming during the winter. I've done it once. I went swimming in Flagstaff, Arizona during the winter a few years ago. It was actually, obviously it was a heated pool indoors. It wasn't an outdoor pool because it was cold. Flagstaff's got a really high elevation, like, I don't know, 6,000 to 7,000 feet elevation, something like that. So obviously they are the part of Arizona that gets snow up in the mountains and whatnot, you know, so... Anyway, there was a lot of snow there. We went up there because it was snowing up there. We went up there to see snow. Anyway, yeah, we also went to a heated pool, oddly enough. It's like, what kind of trip was that? I have no idea. It was weird. Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Yep, it's still a broken shield anyway. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. It's missing the sword part of it, anyway. Yeah, totally. I'm definitely seeing it, anyway. But why? I mean, the broken shield is still the same, but the sword part is missing. Interesting, though. Gant team picture added to the court record. Or was it? Awkward silence. Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. Like me checking the court record, of course. Photo at the award ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Neil. Touch the check button for details. And we can't go into any more details than that, so that's good enough anyway. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. ... Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. I guess we're gonna have to find out anyway, but how? That's a good question. Right in Cole offices then. So, anything new to talk about? Like what to do and any ideas and whatnot? No, of course not. But, I don't feel like she's someone I need to be presenting anything to anyway. But maybe her! Maybe I need to present something to her anyway. So let's see. Let's go ahead. Gosh, there's so much evidence that got added on since last time. Attorneys and prosecutors have no business showing evidence outside court. It's taboo, especially when the interests of both parties are involved. She really means it. Lana! Well, maybe if I show you something you really want to talk about, then maybe you'll talk about it, huh? You ever think about that? Alright, well anyway, I don't know what you say anything to, really. I'll just present everything on this page, and then if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there. Oh well, big whoop. Evan's locker, what's your locker room, by the way? Who's even... I don't even know. I'm so confused, everyone. We still don't even know who the number for 77777 is, do we? I guess not, anyway. Lost item report. Maybe she'll have something to contribute to that, maybe? I don't know. Honestly. What is the relation to the screwdriver? I'm so confused. That's so weird. Okay, ID card record. Nope. Alright, so that's about it, then. I guess I'm just gonna leave it at that, then. Talking points? Anything new? Didn't think so. Alright, so let's present, not present. What? Yes, because present is the same thing as moving, of course. Underground parking lot. Nothing. Alrighty then. So what can I do then? What can I do? I wonder, do you think you have any ideas that I might not be thinking of right at this moment? Like the High Prosecutor's Office, perhaps? Nope. Well then, is there anything I might need to examine again, perhaps? Like, just re-examine everything just to be sure? Wow, this jacket is even lacier. Well, this is nothing new. Lucky jacket, right? I've never seen him wear it, but I can't skip it because it's, for some reason, you know. Yeah, I've been on second picture. Where's that about this? Phoenix Wright? I don't know about you, but anyway. Okay. You want such a precision word, right? Danny Steel Samurai. Edward has always been like that. Really? I should write this down. Tell me about it. He was like a kid. Back in elementary school, he won awards for all kinds of things. Is this new? Speech contest, essays, playing the flute, golf tournaments. Hasn't exactly sound like typical elementary school stuff. He always hated receiving awards. He'd make some smart remark like... This is new, though. I know the path I walk. No one else needs to tell me. That's how he's always been. Kinda gets under your skin, doesn't it? I suppose so, anyway. Maybe. Not really. Mr. Edgeworth has such a comfy sofa. Sofas like this make me want to curl up and take a nap. How he pours his soul and core... What? Then he takes... Yeah, totally. The core of his body has been relaxed by this sofa now. And goes to sleep. I don't believe it. She's actually daydreaming about Edgeworth working. I bet in the morning he has sofa hair. And we heard about this before. Yeah, no, there's nothing new about this. What? You know what? I give up. I'm sorry. You know what? Let me come back here later. Maybe if there really is something here, then I can always just look at this later. I don't have to look at it right now. I'll look at it later, of course. Police Department entrance? Nope. Police Criminal Affairs Department? Why didn't I just come here at first? February 24th, Police Department, Criminal Affairs. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe! Were you in a meeting? I was, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long in the meeting? Actually, I had to serve everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth is the whole world after his blood. Yikes! Well, anyway, Gumshoe, nice to have someone to talk to again. Edgeworth's crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? ... Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence he presents in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Those who don't like him haven't been able to do anything because of his amazing talent as a prosecutor. But now with this, there are really so many people who hate him. In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only had that, but he's young. There's no better recipe, I know, for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime, my treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problem with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Why would he crack? This was not an incident. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Oh, that might have been Phoenix saying that again. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me! It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with a murder weapon. ... Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon! Or not, because I don't know. Let's just want to do that. It might jog his memory! Dark's crimes. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. Really? So what made him go insane then? I do wonder. Well then, let's see. Joe Dark, deceased, serial killer responsible for the SL9 incident 2 years ago, was given the death penalty. Prosecutor murdered 2 years ago in the SL9 incident, Jake Marshall's brother. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, they're both deceased. Doesn't say what their age was at the time of murder. Anyway, a businessman? What made him take the serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw a kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came up upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. It seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but fortunately he was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness. He must mean Emma. Okay, well maybe so, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe that was the case, we don't know. Anyway, my attorney's badge. Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You know that you show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show the police badge. Enough said. I wish I had a badge, even an ID card would be nice. You haven't changed what you said at all. Anything new on that yet? This guy made us lose the case, almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstain on that evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays. It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. I have to admit, he's right though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m. So, that makes me wonder though, why would Meekins have not noticed that if that bloodstain was there? That is really suspicious actually. I wonder though. I do wonder. The ID cards? That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 77777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Detective. An executive officer. I just might have a hunch. I know, right? It could just be Damon Gant, perhaps. You never know. Anyway, though, it's Screwdriver? Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. I'll, keep that in mind. Sheesh! Anyway, I guess we'll just go ahead. Oh, a lost item report, huh? Very impressive, Detective. You knew what it was off the bat. Well, I'm a master of misplacement, you know. Master? That has such a cool ring to it. The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here. Wow, a higher power! Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. Yeah, probably not anyway. Emma's room floor plans. Alright, nothing about that. Nothing about that. Will he have anything else? He probably will. No locker can be opened by the fingerprint match. Besides, there's no reason for the murderer to touch his own locker. Hey, wasn't that your locker, the one with the blood on it, Detective? The handprint of the real murderer's gloved hand, without any fingerprints. Shh. If you come to arrest me, you'll defend me, won't you? If that happens, I think you'll do better pleading with Edgeworth. Probably, anyway. About that jar. I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? Probably Chief Gant's office, more than likely. Marshall's Prince. I can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. Really? He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles. Note to self. Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. ... What? Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe you should be the one who trades places, probably what they're trying to say anyway. Let me share a little advice with you. This video means nothing to me. Or does it? I've been studying up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. To think people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, ain't buying it, pal. You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know. After all, a serial killer was on the loose. But Lana was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Dark guilty. But didn't he really do the things anyway? So wouldn't he have been guilty anyway? Forged evidence or not? Let me share. Okay, I get it. So anyway, is that it then? Talking point? No. Interesting. So now what do I do? I wonder. Police department? Detention center? I don't know, everyone. I'm a little bit lost right about now. But I guess now we're technically at the end of the episode, so maybe on the next exciting episode, everyone, maybe we'll just go ahead and do what we gotta do. I don't know. I just don't know, everyone. Anything new to say? No. Alright. I'm honestly not really sure where to go at this point, so I think on the next exciting episode, everyone, I think we will go ahead and find out what we gotta do next here. I will be sure that I have the answers that we need to find out, and that'll be that. Right? Hopefully so, anyway. So until then, everyone, I will see you later. I just pronounced a bunch of syllables for no reason. And words. And a lot of emphasis on the goodbye part that I didn't really say. Goodbye, everyone. See ya.